So remember, the practice test is very, very similar to the real test. Do be aware of that. Make sure you know all the skills and make sure you do all your revision. Going to start off with question 1. So we need to isolate this x. So we have 2x minus 5. I need to get rid of the minus 5 first. So I add 5 to both sides. Would be a good way of doing that, because that cancels out when I add down. Minus 5 plus 5 is nothing. 2x is still on this side of the equal sign. 9 plus 5 is 14. So I now have a new problem. 2x is equal to 14. 2 times x, so I do the opposite, remember, to both sides. Dividing by 2 gets rid of the 2, and x is 14 divided by 2, and that means it is 7. Okay, a nice 3 marks for that question if you start off with. You may have a different method. Should be okay, whatever method you use. Yes. Okay, next one, use substitution. So we have x is equal to 3 here, y is equal to 2 also. So what I do is I replace the letters first, or variables first, with the numbers. So y is 2 and x is 3. Now, this 2 bracket 3 means 2 3s, and that's 2 times 3. If we see brackets, it's 2 times. So 2 times 3 is 6. This is 3 2s, so 3 times 2 as well, 6 plus 3. 6 take away 6 is nothing. Add the 3 is 3. The answer is 3. Another 3 marks there for that. All right, next one. I will do this using the prime factor tree method. You can do this without the prime factor tree method, so any method is okay. I'm just going to show you how to do prime factor trees if you've forgotten. 2 numbers to multiply to give 40, 8 times 5. Vincent, yes?
Small question 2.
Yes?
What if you use BEDMAS? Do you have to use BEDMAS?
I did use BEDMAS.
No, but it's addition first.
No, addition or subtraction have the same value in BEDMAS. Whichever comes first.
What if you do 4 and 10?
4 and 10. Oh, for this, you'll get the same answer. These numbers have the same prime factors no matter what route you go to get there. So 2 numbers multiplied to give 60 is 6 times 10 here. 6 is 3 times 2, and 10 is 5 times 2. And now at the end of this process, the reason I do this is because I'm going to write down all the prime factors, all the prime numbers multiplied. So 2 times 2 times 2, 1, 2, 3, and 5. They're all prime numbers. I stop when I get to prime numbers, remember. 2 times 2 here for the other number, times 3 times 5. Okay, so there's my list of prime factors. I use them to find my highest common factor first. So I look at what's common in each line. There's a 2. I write it here. There's another 2. I write here times these numbers together, multiply them together. And there's a 5 as well. So 2 times 2 times 5. When I multiply that out, I get 20. That is the highest common factor. Now, a different method is fine. You don't have to use this method. Might be useful, though, to know it, because the other questions would be harder, and you probably have to use this method. Lowest common multiple, then. Take this number, 20, the highest common factor, and multiply it by anything that's remaining from my lists. So 2 and 3 here are remaining. 2 here and 3 here. Multiply all this together. You can use your calculator for this. This is a calculator exam, it's okay. And that gives 120. Okay. So 3 marks for both. Okay, let's move on. Next question. We're looking for the perimeter and area of this shape. Perimeter should be pretty straightforward. All the lengths have been given to you, so just add them all up for perimeter. Let's do that now. So I have a 3 and a 4. I have a 7 and a 4, a 10 and an 8. Add those up together, you should get 36, yeah. No, but do try and remember the unit. Area, then, I can split it up into 2. I'm going to split it here. You don't have to split it there. You can split it anywhere you want. 4 times 10 is this, length times width. And this is 4 times 3, length times width. So I think that's 40 That's 12. Put them together. Yes, 52 centimeters squared.
If you forgot to do the perimeter and you did all the area to get 3 points.
3 marks for both, yeah. 3 marks for both. Just refrain from shouting out loud. Noel and Vincent, you good? Yeah, thank you. Winston?
Will there be like on the real test, like area equals pi r times r squared, circumference equals...
Will there be this on the real test? Yeah, possibly. Okay, so area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. What's the radius of this circle? It is 6 half the diameter. So you need to do pi times 6 squared. Now make sure when you put in your calculator, you do the exponents first, 6 squared first. Pi times 36 is 6 squared, 6 times 6. You can use a calculator in this exam, so you might as well start using it now. Pi I'm going to use is 3.14. I'm going to times it by 36, and that gives 113.04. You can round it any way you want. It's fine. Emily?
What if you did for the area perimeter? If you don't area, if you don't square,
I already answered that. It's fine, yeah. Pi times diameter. The diameter of this circle for circumference is 12. So pi times 12. Just get your calculator out and do the same thing again. 3.14 times 12. 37.68. Both centimeters for this one should be the unit, and centimeters squared for area. Once again, it's fine.
Wait, centimeters? But it says meters.
Oh, sorry, meters. Yes, it's fine. I'm not going to mark you down for the wrong unit in this exam. If you know a unit, you still get the points. Yes. Okay. Rotations question. I put this one in again because it was answered so particularly badly in the actual test. Let's put in our dots here at all the corners. So I'm using the tracing paper. I'm going to draw in the shape on my tracing paper. That's the reason we do it. And then I make sure I have the correct center, which a number you didn't manage to get. The center is at -2 on x and 1 on y. So -2 on x is down here at -2, and 1 on y is up 1. So here. That's my center. Now anti-clockwise, clockwise, the clock ticks around this way. So anti-clockwise must be the opposite way. So it goes that way. So I'm going to go that way. 90 degrees. That's a quarter turn of the page. Little turn. And it ends up right there. Right there. I put in my dots. Okay, Ziv. Should draw with a ruler, but I'm in a rush, so I won't. Look something like that. Okay. Next question is about mean, median, range, and mode. The mean, I need to add up all these numbers and divide by how many are there. So if I add them up, I can do this on a calculator pretty quickly. 22 plus 10. I'll get there eventually. Plus 27 plus 22. All right, and I divide that by, I counted 15 numbers, I think, if you count it up. So I have 438, and I divide it by 15. That's odd. Add them all up and divide by 15. You can count them again there. 29.2 is the mean. That's 2 marks for that. The range of ages is the largest age minus the smallest age. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Largest minus smallest, 75. When we're ready. 75 is the largest number in that list. The smallest number on our list is 6. Subtract them, you get 69. That is the range. The mode is the one that's there the most. You can count them up, but 22 is there the most. 3 times. The median, I need to list them from smallest to biggest, which is a bit of a chore, but we'll get through it pretty quickly. 6 is the smallest number, then 8, That's 6 and 8 dealt with. I think we got 10. 10 is there as well. 10, 18, yes, 20, 21. I think there's 3 22s. 27 is there next. Yes, 32. Wow, you're 40, 55, 60, and 75. Thank you, Jaya. I think that's it. The way I do the median, if we got something like this, is just do cross off the first and last and keep doing that until you reach a number in the middle. And I think the number in the middle is 22. Remember, if you end up with 2 numbers in the middle, you must get halfway between those 2, add them up, and divide by 2. Okay, that's 8 marks, 2 marks for each part of that question. All right, we're moving on to some fractions now. These are our basic operation fractions. No improper fractions here yet. So we got to add. If we add or subtract, we need a common denominator. If we multiply and divide, we do not. So adding, I'm going to pick the denominator of 10. You probably pick 50 or 20 if you want, but I think 10 is pretty easy. 1 out of 10. 2/5 becomes, well, if I multiply by 2, 4/10, I think. So 5 times 2 to get the 10 here at the bottom. 2 times 2 on top. So that's how we make a common denominator. Now I add, the denominator stays the same. It is tenths. There are 4 tenths here. There's 1 more here. So there's 5 in total. And I can simplify that down to a half, can't I? Divide by 5. Divide by 5. I'm going to be marking down if you don't simplify. So do simplify. So you give yourself 1 mark out of 2. Pretty harsh, but 1 mark out of 2. All right, this one, multiplying, we just go straight lines. You can pre-simplify if you want. Some of you may want to do that. Most of you probably don't. So I'll do without. 2 times 9 is 18. And 3 times 16, 48. Remember, you can use your calculator for these straightforward, like one multiplication. Yeah, we can simplify that down. Divide by 6, I think, divides in. 6 divides into top and bottom. 6 divides into 3 times and 8. Miles? Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can pre-simplify, yeah. But I presume most people don't. I do, but most of you guys probably don't and simplify afterwards. Yeah, pre-simplify, I'll show you. So 2 over 3 times 9 over 16. So if you see common factors here, instead of multiplying by 9 and then dividing by 3, 9 over 3 is just 3 over 1. So I can divide 3 into this and divide 3 into this. 2 and 16 have common factor of 2. So 2 goes into this once, 2 goes into this 8 times. And now multiply. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 8 is 8. You can do that. It might be quicker, it might be easier. Some people get confused by that. But if you do get confused by that, just go with this method. This one, think of your fried chicken when you divide in fractions. Keep, change, flip, KCF. Keep the first one the same. Change the sign to multiply and flip the second fraction. And we end up with a multiplication again. We can do a pre-simplification here of 5 goes into 5 once. So that's 7 over 6. Now, some of you will have 35 over 30. That's fine, as long as you simplify afterwards. That gives 1 and 1/6 as a final answer. I'll accept 7 over 6 if you got that far. 7 over 6, okay. Okay, so again, a bit more difficult now with some difficult solving problems. This is going to end up a fraction anyway. 5 take away 3x. So I got to get rid of this 5 and this minus 3. I get rid of the 5 first, subtract 5 from both sides. That leaves me with negative 3x, and 9 take away 5 is 4. All right, so dividing is next because this is minus 3 times x. So the opposite to minus 3 times x, Aidan, Ethan, dividing by minus 3 both sides. Fits in once, so we're left with 1x. I'll accept minus 4 over 3, or I'll accept minus 1 1/3, or I'll accept minus 1.3 recurring, or some version of that. Accept all those, it's fine.
If you get 4.
I don't accept that. There's 3 marks going for these. So if you did 1 step right, you get 1 mark. If you do 2 steps right, you get 2 marks. If you get the whole thing right, you get 3 marks. Next one, there's x's on both sides, variables on both sides. I need to get rid of one of them. So I'll get rid of the smaller x, subtracting it from both sides. That goes away. I'm left with just 5 on this side of the equals. 3x take away 2x is a single x. Minus 19 still there. I don't want minus 19, so I get rid of it. I add 19 to both sides. 24 over here is equal to x, and that's it. I got it. 24 is equal to x. X is equal to 24. Same. Next one. Yes, Winston.
For the last question, can you just added 3? So then it would have been just x.
For this question I just did?
No, for the one up.
Yeah? Could I add 3? Now that's 3 times x. Negative 3 times x. There's no gap here. It's not 3 minus x. So they're tied together. It's different than, like, minus 3x is different than x minus 3 or 3 minus x. It's not the same thing. They're very different. This is a subtraction. This is a multiplication. So be careful of that. All right, I got a brackets here. More multiplication. You can divide first, but I recommend multiplying first. Get rid of the brackets. Distributive rule. 4 distributes over both these terms. So 4 times 2x is 8x. And 4 times 5 is 20. I still have 7 over this side, and then I solve. Add 20 to both sides. Get rid of the 20. I get 8x is equal to 27. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 8. Because I want a single x, I'll put the answer up here. X is equal to, well, 8 fits into 27 3 times with a remainder of 3. And that must be over 8 as well. So 3 and 3/8, or I'll accept 3.7375 if you have that. That's good. Okay. Next, so there's 9 marks going for that. Lowest common multiple, highest common factor of these 2 numbers. I'm going to draw prime factor trees again. 210, 560, and then use my prime factors to get this. 21 times 10, 3 times 7, 2 times 5 for 10. They're all primes. That's done. 56 times 10, 8 times 7, 5 times 2, and 8 is 2 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. So I get there. So hopefully you can do it nice and quick. Yeah. We'll learn this method. No, it won't be 210. The highest common factor, the second question in the actual test is going to be a bit harder than this, so make sure you have a method to do it. All right, let's write the prime factors of this one. 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. And this one is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I'm just reading them off here. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 3 and a 7 times 3 times 7. There they are. I'm going to use them now to find my highest common factor first. Yeah, is that a 5? Oh, that is a 5. Yes, thanks. Thanks, Jill. Yes. Okay, if I have the rest of it right, hopefully. Okay, so the highest common factor, I see a 2 here anyway. I see a 5 and a 7. 7 here as well. They're all common. So that's going to give, what, 70 as the highest common factor. Once I have the highest common factor, I move on to the lowest common multiple. I use it. Yes, Winston?
For the highest common factor, when you got, like, the prime numbers,
yeah.
How did you know, like, just select the 2, the 5, and 7?
Because they're in both lists. There's 1 2 here and there's a 2 here. I know there's more 2s, but there's only 1 in common. There's 2 5s in common and 2 7s. They're in common. If they're both lists, common factor, they're common factors, so we put them as the part of the highest common factor. What's left over, it gets multiplied by 70 now. 3 and a 2 and a 2 and another 2. So 3 times 2 times 2 and times another 2. Okay, so this is where a calculator comes in useful in this exam. We didn't have it when we did our number exam, but we have it now, so we can do it. 70 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1680. 1680. Okay, a bit close. Anyone get that?
Yeah.
Good stuff. At least half of you. All right. Let's move along. Yeah, I don't think it was too bad. It's an enlargement anyway, so enlargement will get you a mark if you wrote enlargement. We need a scale factor then. So we compare two sides. This one is 2 boxes long. This one is 5 boxes long. So it's gone from 2 to 5. So the scale factor is 5 over 2, from 2 up to 5, or 2.5, 2.5. Yeah. I'll accept either, or writing 2.5 is fine. A scale factor. India?
How many marks is like the two last ones?
The last question?
Two.
The previous question.
Yeah. What's the one after the enlargement? Like, oh yeah. Because it's like
Maybe when we get there, I will say the marks for the question when we're on it. You're getting ahead of yourself there. Yes, Winston. I've not done the center yet, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I need the center for the third mark. Drawing the lines through the corners here. This corner is moved to there. This corner, and this corner. And then I would expect this. I know you can kind of tell from this, but I would expect it in the exam, yeah. These are called construction lines. If you don't get the point exactly right, but you've drawn on your diagram the lines, I'll give you. You could get it right because your lines are just slightly off. But if you haven't drawn any lines and you get it wrong, you get no marks. So draw the lines, and at least you might get attempt marks. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that again. So the set-driven enlargement is 0, 0 for this one. What I did was I just counted that there's 5 boxes here, and its counterpart here is 2. So I just wrote 5 over 2. So what was 2 has become 5. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Yeah. I'd give it. Yeah. Try and use the correct terminology, but look at you saving time by COE. Yeah, that's fine. All right, we're going to get on. So to answer India's question, now when we're on the question, each of these are going to be worth 2 marks because this one isn't. I meant to take it off. I changed the marks to 6, but it was 8, but I forgot to get rid of that. Silly me. Anyway, so it's 2 marks each. They're more difficult questions. They're worth less marks, but that's probably the difference between a 4 and a 5 at this stage. That's the reason they're there, these harder questions. Okay, let's solve this one. Step 1, which I'm sure will remove quite a lot of answers from the equation, is multiplying out. 2x, multiply by -3, you get -3x. You get -6, not +6, you get -6, and minus times a plus. 15 and -10x. So that's probably where a lot of you would be knocked out of the running for this one, the -6. Then collect these like terms. 2x take away 3x is -x. I'll write it again. And now I'm going to start solving. I'm going to add 10x to both sides because I feel that's a nice thing to do. Add 10x over here. So minus x, add 10x is 9x's. I still have a -6 and I still have a 15. I'm going to add 6 as my next step to get rid of this 6. And I'll write it up here. 9x from here equals 21.
Did anyone get that?
Divide, I'd say somebody did. Divide by 9, because it's 9 times x, I remove. 9 fits into this twice, because 18, with a remainder of 3. So that's 2 3/9, which I can simplify again. 3/9 is 1/3, or 2.3 recurring. Anyone get it?
I got 3.2.
That's not. Nobody. Oh, some in your other class got it.
No.
India got it?
You put, isn't it?
No.
Wait, I put
No, this is the correct answer. Yeah, you get a mark if you've made 2 correct steps in this one. So that 2 correct steps, if you've put a +6 here, that's 1 mistake already. But if you made everything else is okay, you probably get 1 mark. Yeah.
Other than the 6, if I did everything else correct.
Yeah, but be careful. This is definitely going to come up in the exam again, where it's multiplying in by a minus, and that will.
So can I get 1 mark?
You mark in your own test. You can give yourself whatever you want. 100%. Okay. Oh, always. All right, we got a compound shape here. We got a semicircle, half a circle, and a rectangle. 2 times 7 for this bit. Nice, easy start. Rectangle is 2 times 7, which is 14. So that's 14 for the rectangular bit. This bit, then, I just need the area of a half circle. I think the diameter is 4 centimeters, isn't it? Because 1 + 4 + 2 is 7. So the radius is 2. So the area of the circle, or the half circle, is a half area, is a half of pi 2 squared. Pi times 2 squared, isn't it? I can do that then. 2 squared is 4, so it's just 4 times 3.14. And then divide that by 2, half of it. I get 6.28. 6.28. Add those two together. 14 plus 6.28 gives 20.28.
What if I put 26?
Oh, you put what? That's fine. It's just a rounding thing, I'd say. You? Yeah.
I would have gotten it, but I forgot to do the squares. So I got 23.114 plus 14 centimeters, which was 17.114. And then, because I forgot to do the square.
Oh, okay.
23 or what?
No. Any other questions? Ingrid, you have a question? Yeah, but did you divide the answer by 2 afterwards? Because it's half of a circle, not a full circle? Ah, I know. 20.3. Oh, you did 20. I just said 23. 20.3 is correct. Yeah. Or, yeah, that's fine. 2. All right. Next question. A substitution question. 6 times A, that's 6 times 4. 6 fours. 2 B's is 2 times 2. 6 fours are 24. 2 twos is 4. This is division. 24 divided by 4 then. 6. 6 over 1. That's 1 mark for that. 4 squared minus 2 when I replace. 4 squared is 16. Take away 2 is 14. So 16 take away 2 is 14. 1 mark for each of those. All right, this I'm skipping. Did anyone do it? What'd you get? Yeah. Minus 1, no?
5 plus every time.
Could be plus 1. 2 times. What you would do, in case you want to know, we did this earlier on in the year, count the matchsticks 6, 11, and so on. Was it 16? So there's additional 5 each time. In my formula, then, that's going to be y 5 times x. Oh, you're right, Hunter. Because of a repeated addition becomes a multiplication. How do I get then the answer 6 and 11 and 16? Because this gives 5 times 1 is 5, 2 is 10. So we're always 1 away. Add 1. We don't have that in the exam, so we won't go into it in great detail.
Why is the match 6?
It's not. I meant to remove it.
What's one shape?
What's one shape?
Yeah, like one shape.
Shape number 1, shape number 2, shape number 3, shape number 4. Okay. 2 questions left, nearly there. This you can do it a multiple number of ways. I presume a lot of you just gave a common denominator across the board and went at it. All right, well, I'll just do a common denominator of 7, 3, and 2. Easy way to get a common denominator of 3 numbers like that, Aiden, is to do what? That's right. Concentrate. Just times them all. 7 times 3 is 21, times 2 is 42. So common denominator of 42. If you wrote 42 as a common denominator of all these, you would get a 10th mark anyway, because there's 4 marks going for this. So 42s. All right. This is a bit complicated. I need to change this to an improper fraction first to get over 42. 7 times 2 is 14. Add the 3 is 20, or is 17. So this is 17 over 7. How does it get over 42? Well, I multiply it by 6 to get the bottom to 42. So the top multiplies by 6 as well. That gives 102. I think when you can use a calculator to do that. 17 times 6. This one, 4 times 3 is 12. Add the 2 to the top. I get 14 over 3. 14 over 3 then, to get to 42, I need to multiply by 14 over 14. 14 14s is 196. This one, 2.5 is 5 over 2. Get it to 42, I need to multiply by 21 over 21. And that's 105. Okay. Deal with these 3 things then. I can use a calculator at this stage if I want. Just 102 plus 196 minus 105. I get 193 over 42. Divide that in. 42 fits in. Well, I could check on my calculator many times if it's in fully. It fits in 4 times fully. And I can use my calculator again to see what I've left. So 4 times 42 is 168. So how much have I left over here? 25, isn't it? So 25 out of 42.
Yes! So I get a 10 mark if I try my best.
Okay.
Yeah?
You would get a 10 mark if you did something right, yeah. Remember to show your work here. If you didn't show your work, you won't get any answer because I know you can do it on the calculator. Gents, thank you. All right, last question. Let's change these to improper fractions. First, 2 times 9 is 18. Add that to the top. 22 over 9. 2 times 5 is 10. Add 8 to the top. I get 12 over 5. You can do a little bit of simplification here. Pre-simplify. That fits in 3 fits into that 4 times. 3 fits into that 3 times. Okay, multiply. 22 times 4 is 88. 3 times 5 is 15. How many times does 15 fit into 88? 5 times. You can do this on the calculator a little bit with the remainder 13 out of 15. 5 and 13 15ths for another 4 marks. Okay, you can check on what you got. I think it's out of